Yo, welcome everybody back to the Three Spurs Boys. Not just the Three Spurs Boys, but the debut of our new show with my darling little cousin, who's like a little brother to me. Robbie G is in the house, and all I gotta say is, what's Buzzin Cuzzin?
What is Buzzin Cuzzin? Thanks
It is,
for organizing all this and convincing me to do this with you. I mean, this is fantastic. We
it is,
talk
it
about
is. You know, we talk about football all the time and everything
all
like
the
that.
time.
Now we get to do it with some people in the community. As you know, because of this community, I've got the opportunity to take my boy over to the NLD coming up. We're going to be flying out on Monday night there. So I'm really excited to have you here with me and stuff like that. You know, we don't get to spend enough time together. So this ensures
True.
that we at least have to spend an hour a week together on Fridays, no matter what our wives say, ladies.
Yeah.
So,
Plus,
Robbie
everyone
G.
gets to look at us, act the fools while we're talking about football. It's very
Well, they're
exciting.
used to
Very
me. They're
exciting.
used to me acting, looking like a fool, and pretending to have some football knowledge. So now you get to join the cast, my man.
Sure.
There
That's
you
fair.
go. But everybody does know me. You know, I've made my rounds. I've hoarded myself out to every channel pretty much that's out there, and uh, I've got a great partner in crime sometimes that is out there and promoting the channel with me with Kuva and everything. But to all of you that are watching, you're in the house now. As you can see, Robbie's got that horrible red jersey up in the background. And as you can see in the background, it is half split with the Spurs and Arsenal backdrop. He is an Arsenal fan. But that being said, obviously I must love him a lot to allow him on the show and allow him around my children because for some reason they absolutely love their Robbie uncle. So that being said, Robbie, everybody knows me. They know how I support Spurs and everything. Let's let the people get to know you a little bit better, shall we? So let's start with this. Out of all the teams you could have picked, why did you choose to support Arsenal?
Well, you know full well. My older brother was a big Arsenal supporter, moved back from England, and call it around when I was around 18, 19. I kind of gave up on hockey. Hockey was just in the background. I mean, obviously, we're from Canada, so I
Yeah,
had to play ball hockey, had to play street hockey,
didn't have a choice.
didn't
Nobody
have
knew
a
what
choice.
soccer was over here, or they called
Yeah,
it soccer. They didn't know what football was.
that's right. And it's cold all the time, so you can play hockey anytime.
Yeah.
Not always ideal to go play soccer, right? But once he came back, just started reconnecting and started talking football. And he was a big Arsenal supporter, so of course, by attrition, I became a big Arsenal supporter, and have never looked back since. Which I'm sure
So
a lot of
basically,
your
it's your big brother's fault.
yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And I'm sure
So
a lot of
all of
your
my
your
Spurs
colleagues
friends
are
that are
looking
in the
at me like,
community, don't hate on Robbie, hate on his big brother Am. Okay,
fair,
that's
fair.
AM, like in the morning, like he likes to say. All
It's
right,
true.
but let's Robbie. Before we get on to the next question, we do have a handful of people that have joined us already on our debut show. So let's get in there and say hello to them. True City fan is here. Patrick's here already. Big up, man. Five Guys is in the house. Carl, we call him Five Guys. One day, I will show you the show on Bob Spurs in the wall, and you will know why. Brush is in the house, always supporting. Football Ferreira is already here already. Big up, brother, man. Good to see you, man. Appreciate the support. And of course, my man Benny Kaufman. This is my friend that owns the coffee shop that I told you about, where we're gonna
All right
have
on.
we're gonna get to cut Little K's Chris and everything. He's been kind enough to give us his private venue and everything like that. So we're really looking forward to get over there. And Ben's famous line is, "Can you smell what the cough is brewing?" Because he is a barista. So. And then this guy, Bobby K, is in the house. Appreciate everybody taking the time. And of course, there's Robbie G guys in the house. I don't know why. Is that Gahag? Jihag? What's that?
Jihag.
Jihag. And not to be confused with the jihad, okay? It is his debut, so be gentle on him. Be gentle on him. Benny is booing you already. Hardcore booze on that one. My goodness.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I was like, what? Why would your fans want to even hear what I have to say? Because
You
wouldn't
know
they all be
what,
like,
buddy? We've got, honestly, the good thing about this is a lot of these people are the same people that watch all the channels. They get around. We have a pretty tight knit community, and it's a great community. We all support each other. So I don't doubt by default they know if I have you here, you're not one of those asshole fans, for lack of better words, that just spews nonsense. Is going to sit here and say, "When is the last time you won a trophy?" We just want to talk football like you and I always do. We decided we wanted to do it here. We had the opportunity, thanks to my boy Brian Daigle, who got me started in all this in the first place. We're able to take that opportunity and be here. So, man, you're getting a lot of hate, though, man. This is my man right here, is the provider of my bucket list dream. This is the guy that I told you about from Ireland that has squared everything up for us. So big up to you, Patty. Good to see you here. Ronan's in the house. This is another friend of ours. This is a friend of mine, Simon, who I met. It's his boy, actually. Him and the kids have streamed a little bit together as well. Really, really good kid, man. And a great football player. And he's saying Bobby and hell yeah. And Chris, my man, Chris has an absolute disdain for Eric Dyer, and it seems like you might be getting on the same list as him because he is already telling you to take your shirts down. Stuart is in here, another wonderful regular on the show, always supportive, and great to see you, my man. And Welshie's in here. Welsh gal, just so you know now, to those out there, her name is Welshie. We, being Indian, of course, of Indian descent, in Punjabi, we call her Welsh Jit. Okay, so welcome, Welsh Jit. Good to see you. Scott M is here. This is one of the most realistic fans you'll actually see. You know what? Being an Arsenal fan, I think you could appreciate a conversation with Scott, because Scott won't look at Brian Hill's half a game performance and say, yeah, it was good. Way to go. Yeah, he's the future, this and that. He'll sit here and say, yeah, well done. You finally stood up. It only took you 10 games and you gave a half-hour performance. He's such a realist, and it's factual. And Scott puts a lot of things in perspective. You know what I mean? He keeps you from getting too diluted and too much of a high. He brings you down to, keeps you in that realist zone, right?
Well, we're going to talk about your game, because your game, I would say I had a game of two halves, but Brian Gill was definitely one that I wanted to bring up because I was able to deepen it. It was definitely a game, like I said, of two halves. The first half, I mean, we will get into it, but Brian,
we're going to definitely get into that.
Yeah,
we're going to get into your game and our game. We're going to get into that. We'll just quickly wrap up the hellos here. And this is Bob Through I was telling you about. Got the show on In the Wall that we talked about, wankety wank and everything, where we have the games and everything. So yeah, and no, I haven't dropped Kuva. Kuva still has my Sunday night date night time. Stuart, don't you worry. Kuva and the Kang will be back as soon as we return from England. It is on hiatus right now. Kuv's got a few things going on, and I'm preparing for this trip. I fly out Monday. We will be back on Sunday, the 22nd, hopefully, with a few things that we've got. We already have to listen to me. So there you go. This is what I'm saying. See, Scott M is a realist, my man. He's already got to listen to my waffle bullshit and my lack of knowledge. So how much worse can you really be? See, Scott hits you with that love punch. You know what I mean? So it's really good.
Just so everybody knows,
dude, I mean, obviously, Ronan, tomorrow. Get your ass over there tomorrow. These kids suck. I hope none of my parents on the team watch this show. If you do, get your kids to practice, man. I'm fed up of showing up to practice and half the team shows up and it's only the half that know how to play. Ronan, I need you, my man. I need your help.
I have been on the other end of those calls when you've been screaming at the coaches and assistant coaches.
I'm not screaming. I'm motivating, cuz. I'm motivating. Use the right wording, man.
Do your kids fall for that when you're motivating them to do their homework?
Stick to football, Robbie. Stick to football, man. Okay? Leave the kids out of it, man. They're not here. Just because they're here doesn't mean they're here, okay? This is my buddy Nippon as well. He's a big Chelsea fan, actually, as well. Always another big supporter. So he likes his team more. And this is a man, Phil P. Phil P, as soon as you feel Phil P, you have to know this. The only thing you say when you see Phil is, woo!
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's got catchphrases and stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah, everybody's got their little thing. I will get you.
And I will also say, for anybody who's like, boo, Rob, I grew up with Bobby K. So there's not much you can say.
You know what?
Going to hurt my feelings or whatever.
Fair point.
I grew up with this guy.
Yeah, and he's my younger cousin.
Yeah, so I had to take that for
he took a
lot
of shit.
Time.
A lot of shit. Yeah. And in fact, he didn't take a lot of shit. He still takes it because it's not like things have changed. All we've done is get older and use bigger words, right? So that's it.
Fair.
So, and Nippon's dropping the Indian with us, man. Sassy call to you, Nippon.
We're going to get into that, too.
I get to hug my... Yes, sir. I will be hugging you on Monday. So you know Kuva. Kuva is my partner in crime on the shows on Sunday nights with Kuva and the Kang there. And no, Koobs, I would never drop you, baby. Our relationship is strong. Nothing can break our bond. But we like this. But me and Robbie, we family, man. We like this.
Right.
So even though sometimes we don't like each other,
If you
right?
saw the intro, sometimes we're like this and headlocks and stuff too. So
Andrew, not to worry, buddy. Got 2 boxes going with me, man. Justice for Coobs is the new thing that everybody's going to be going on with.
oh my God, is this trending? What's happening?
Yeah, we're busy, man. Big up yourselves. So this is another thing. You'll see everybody here is going to get in the comments. They're going to say hi to each other and stuff like that, right? This is everybody just saying hi to each other. And Stuart's here. Yeah.
That's nice.
Coobs, it's. What do you mean? Thank you for your support in these dark times. What is that reference, Kuva? What do you mean by dark times? Because we're both dark?
Wow.
Things that make you
already.
go, What, Kuva? Huh? Things that make you go, huh? Huddersfield Town is in the house supporting as always. Big up, my brother. Good to see you, man. So, this is my buddy Ben with the coffee shop. He was here a few weeks ago, right? And he's saying I'm a delight, except for when I'm 20 minutes late. But Ben doesn't realize I'm on Indian time. So if I'm 20 minutes late, I'm actually 2 hours early.
See, so, I would have blamed it on that Toronto. I mean, let's be honest. Toronto Pearson Airport is rated the worst airport in the world.
Yes.
So can you really blame Bob? You probably could.
I did. Oh, you know what it was? He actually got out lickety split, and I was frigging shocked, super shocked. But that is all the comments for right now, Robbie. So let's get right back into the people getting to know you.
Yeah,
so you told them already why you started supporting Arsenal. Your big brother basically made you do it. You know, so we'll put all the blame on his shelf. I will drop his email address for my friends, my Spurs community members. I'll give you his phone number. Spam the shit out of him and ask him why he deterred the train. Robbie could have followed me and suffered like we all do as Spurs family. But no, he decided to go and be an Arsenal fan, and we're top of the league. Yeah, fucking. Oh, sorry. So we know when you started supporting him. You already told us the why as well. So let the people know, who is your favorite player ever and why?
It's got to be King Henry, right? It's got to be Henry. Absolutely one of the greatest. And when I started watching, it was in and around just the beginning of that Invincible season, and it was incredible. It was incredible to watch. Always been a big fan of Bergkamp as well. That role, that position that he played, and some of the passes and stuff that they played together was just next level stuff. And I had never really seen that, and it was just something that really, still to this day, has stuck with me through the dark times, right? Even for your fans and for any other sporting fans, just know sporting teams and results are temporary, right? Like next week somebody else could win, a year later somebody else could win. So I never really deep it and hold on to it like that. I just went to enjoy the football, wanted to enjoy my team and support them as best I could. So it was always great going to pubs, and we never used to have the footage. And
no, we didn't have crop growing up. That was the thing. What did we have, Robbie? We got to look at the back page of the Toronto Sun and only got the table. And when soccer Saturdays used to come on with Graham Leggett, remember the Scotsman?
Yes.
So when that used to come on, what did you see? Liverpool, Man
United. Yeah.
Liverpool, Man United.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you got to see Man United and Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Liverpool and then Man United.
Well, don't forget a lot of Syria.
You guys creeped in there. You guys creeped in there later on. Chelsea was in there for a little bit and everything. There's absolutely nothing about Tottenham on there. They might tell you what the score of the game was, kind of thing, and who scored at best, right? So
one channel maybe, and then again you had Chin here, which would show a lot of Serie A, maybe some Bundesliga and some off stuff, but never in English, right? And it was never really sort of epitomized.
Maybe we had Tele-Latino.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe until mid 2000s, say, where things like Satanta and streaming and other services started coming out. I'd argue now, with our streaming services and ability, we probably have more footage and more games than possibly even people in England can actually watch. And it's one of the biggest exports that they're showing. So for me, that's really when things started to pick up, because you could actually watch the games. You could actually hey, what are the transfer rumors? What are the results? Even FA Cup or back then Community Shield or Carabao Cup and Coca-Cola Cup and those type of things started to become readily available to watch,
Yeah.
which we did, right? And then you just consume. It's just no different than YouTube. You're just consuming content. And then the more you see, the more you can start delving into transfer rumors, strategy, rumors around coaches, assistant coaches. How's the youth team playing? The ladies team, if you wanted to watch those results and stuff like that. So it really expanded, and I would argue that our viewership and sponsorship of um, the English Premier League is probably second to none in North America, at least.
Oh, now it is. But like you said, it took a little
Now it
while
is.
for us
Yeah.
to get to that point, though, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
years of not really knowing too much about our team, too much about our players and stuff like that. That's why I don't know about you, but when people start talking about, the early days and stuff like that from when I started supporting, there's very little knowledge I have, other than, of course, Teddy Sheringham, who was my favorite player and everything. So, we know stuff about that, but it's now that we've got everything coming to us. Like you say, we got, not only do we know what's going on with the club itself, with the team and the results and everything, but now we get all the results and everything from other teams and everything. We get the transfer news. We know what's going on with the board, with technology the way it is, with Twitter and everything like that. You hear all the rumors and everything about potential players and everything like that. So just the overflow of information is significantly better now. So
And the players' Instagrams and everything else, you can find out what they're about, what they're doing, how injuries are going. So it's a whole new world in comparison to, me calling my uncle and being like, "Hey, how did
what's
Arsenal
going?
do
How did
today?"
the yeah, exactly. Yeah, and even
Right.
Welshie here is putting it in. Like Satanto used to be great, and that's, I think, one of the first places where we start up. Big up, Tom. Good to see you, my man. And Simon's in the house as well. That's Ronan's dad. Big up, Simon. And again, Lee Judges with glasses
What?
and a tan. And a tan.
This guy's watching in black and white because I'm brown. Like, I don't know. Is Lee Judges brown? He looks pretty pasty white.
No, he is. He is.
He's pretty white.
I've upset Welshie. Welshie, I haven't broken up with Kuva. It's Friday night. Me and Kuva's date night is Sunday nights.
It seems this is almost getting as
Brilliant.
tribal as football, man. What's going on?
This is what I was saying. Jacob, Michael, big up boys over at United Spurs of America. I know they said when they were going to wrap up that they would let everybody know that we were on now so they can continue their viewing pleasure. The only difference is people don't realize Jacob and Michael actually have some football knowledge, and you have some football knowledge, and then, well, there's me. Leo's in the house, Mile High Hotspur. Great guy. Great channel down there representing another Spurs channel as well. And Justice for Cooves. Ben, stop it. No justice for Cooves. At this rate, I'm gonna make Kuva start streaming Monday nights or something like that.
Wow.
Kuva, how does it feel to be dropped for a Gooner? That's this is 2 minutes ago I was just saying how great this community is and how nice they are and what good friends they are, right?
And they
I forgot to
turned on you
mention
like that, like
what shit they disturbed though. Okay? So the virtual support has warmed Kuva up from Welshie. He's feeling a little bit. He's headed into a cold, dark night on my own. Oh yeah. I love you, Kuva. Really, I do. Ben's taking digs. Ben's taking big digs. Ben's taking
wow.
big.
It's harsh. That's harsh.
Don't worry, Robbie. Don't worry, Robbie. This is just the debut show. Obviously, my regular folks have come in to support. Much love to you all. Thank you for being here. And Benny's even got a song.
Wow.
Kuva, you know he's better than a Guna. I love it, Benny.
Put it this way to the community. I
love
came
it,
in
but don't worry.
fully well
Hey.
aware that I was like, so all these Spurs fans are going to just dig on me? He's like, yeah, it'll be fun. And be like,
Yeah, it'll be
all
fun.
right, I guess
For me,
no
I'm
different
having
than
a
when I go
great
to your
time.
house.
This is great. I love this shit. This is
When I
fucking
go to your
awesome,
house
baby.
and I got you and your kids just like, hey, Uncle Rob, I don't want to touch you because you're wearing that Arsenal tie. And we're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, here's your Christmas presents, and I guess get lost.
Yeah, pretty much. But hey, thanks for the gifts. But let's
So I
get
get
back
it.
to it,
I
Robbie.
get it.
You talked about your
Yeah.
favorite player ever, your favorite goal ever you saw anybody in an Arsenal kit score.
This might be a bit controversial. I will go with the live
I
one
got
that I
Paul.
saw when I was at Wembley in my first Arsenal game. I got to see the FA Cup final, and I saw Ramsey score the winner against Chelsea. That was probably the very first one that I've ever saw live, and it won us the FA Cup, and I was there, and I was astounded. So that one for me will always be very special.
And only because you were there, so you got to actually be part of the moment, kind of thing. And it's like us, Robbie. We're looking at Harry Kane setting the all-time scoring record here, and I'm praying to God. Could you imagine if he gets a hat trick against you boys at the NLD, and me and my sons are sitting there, and we get to see history get made?
Like, listen, I hope that
That
doesn't
just
happen, but I would be very happy for you guys to see that because a lot of people would say it's a once in a lifetime thing. Keep in mind, like, it's not easy for us to get over to go see a game. It's not down the street. So to actually to get that ability to go there and see it, keep in mind when I went to that FA Cup game, it was the week before was the Ariana Grande Manchester bombing. So
oh
there was
shit,
a
so
lot of
tense.
tense, and I was like, should I be going? My missus was like, are you still going to this? It was a big deal to get tickets. It was kind of scary, right? Be like, am I gonna go after this tragedy has just happened, and I'm
Yeah.
going right back into the heart of London. I'm going to see this, but touch wood, everything worked out well, and it's something that I'll never forget. That I was there.
Dan's Nan is in the house. Big up, Dan's Nan. What is the name of corner shop I've walked into? Because there's clearly two brown people here, so must be a corner shop. But you have your first question directed solely for you. I will let you
Okay,
read it. I will let you answer it.
Robbie G, as an Arsenal fan, when did you first realize that you have no shame? It was before I was an Arsenal
I was,
fan.
I was gonna say, yeah, you were like two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah,
the
to be
me and
fair, yeah,
me and Bobby were looking for a old photograph of us going to Canada's Wonderland,
yeah,
where I can remember, us getting balloons and the whole thing, and our families were there, and I distinctly remember one of us getting chocolate, and I was like, "Where's mine?" or "Where's my?" So if you're asking about shame, I have no shame. I have no shame for any of that,
none,
right?
none.
If you ask our family, they'd be like, Bobby was going to be celebrating his birthday, and I'd be like, "Hey, can I blow out the candles?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, go ahead, Robbie," and I'd be like, "Oh, great." So no shame on my side.
You got your second question right here. Is that Sanjay? No, Danny, it is not Sanjay. So we have a gentleman named Sanjay who I'm going to show you some clips regarding, who has become very, very famous in our community. And every time
Does he look like me?
no, we don't even
Okay.
know what he looks like. This is the guy that complained about Bob's show after he was saying how he watches it all the time. So from there, all we have to say is basically when it comes up, I can't break tradition now because it's become a little bit of a thing. I know Benny's here, and Benny will get upset with me if I don't do it. So when Sanjay's name is brought up, all we can say, fuck, fucker you, fucker, Sanjay, you fucker, mother bitch. Yeah, you can say that, Robbie. It's okay. We're adults, and we're past 10
Okay.
minutes, so
All
you
right.
can
Fair
go
enough.
crazy. Now, there were two other questions here that I did start and bring up. Let's get to them quickly before we get into what we do want to get into. What is your favorite Arsenal player? My favorite Arsenal player would be. Oh, I'm going to say Adebayor, only because he came over to us, scored against you, and then. Oh, no, that was City he did that with, right? Where he did the whole. He went right all the way down
Across
the
that field.
field, across the field. Okay. Okay, I'm still going to say Adebayor just for that because he came to play with us as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Adebayor.
You
And
could
then
pick
he
any.
turned it around on you and asked you.
My favorite Tottenham player probably would be, I would say Kane. Kane, because I'll be honest, even when I watch them for England, which we also support as well as Canada, we support a lot of teams, but would always root for England. And when he scores for England, maybe not this last game, but definitely when he bags for England, I'm definitely cheering. It's a very weird feeling, right, to cheer an opposing player, but
Yeah,
when
but
you're
you're cheering for England then,
you're
right?
you're you're supporting them for the national team. So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
it's a
Based
strange,
on that,
yeah.
I'll change my answer to Saka because I think he's got a bright future ahead of him, and I think England's going to do very well having him up there in the front, though. So
Yeah, agreed.
I can definitely agree with that. But we do have a little bit some somber stuff here to deal with, Robbie, that we did want to discuss. Unfortunately, we do have to pay a little tribute, as everybody knows, and most people already know. Gianluca Vialli passed away today, unfortunately, at the ripe age only of 58. Young guy. It's really sad to see that he's already unfortunately left. He had quite the career here, as you can see. He was started off in Italy and everything, and he played as a striker. He had we're going to bring up his numbers and tally here with the goals and everything. But from what you're hearing and everything, now I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know enough about him to speak openly about him without bringing up some information.
I didn't either, to be fair, and we talked about this. I was like, I didn't really know him as a player. Obviously, we knew some stats, and I knew he'd won the Serie A, but I didn't really know him as a player. But it does bring up, thoughts, obviously, to his family and stuff. That's way too young to die, quite frankly. But
58, Robbie. We're not far behind, bud.
I know it brings up a lot of questions. Pele last week or the week before.
But to be fair, Pele's over his 80s, right? He was pushing 90, true. I believe, right?
But further to that, and I know we were going to get into it. Mark Overmars had a stroke on Thursday, and a lot of guys who were our heroes, and maybe Luca was somebody's hero, in the channel in the chat. But a lot of these guys who did bits for us, they're slowly getting ill or in the hospital or something's going on. It's very strange. And if you look at what's going on in the NFL as well, and people getting injured and hurt, it's shocking. It's shocking and it's sad.
Yeah, it is. And it's like I said, with Vialli, it's just his age is what kind of shocks me, because we're not that far off of it there. But Simon here is saying that he met him and he was a nice bloke. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of the general comments are, that he was actually a really, really good person. You know what I mean?
And a hell of a player from his stats, at least, and from other things that I read today. But like I said, it's astounding that a lot of these guys at their physical peak, now when you go on, 20, 30 years later, getting ill or other health issues and then dying way too early.
Fair enough. And Nippon is just saying here that he hates Arsenal with a burning passion. Sorry, Robbie, but he will cheer for Saka and Smith Rowe when they've got their England kits on. And rightfully so, because I remember when I was on Nippon's show, actually, he asked me before the start of this World Cup that would you cheer for Saka and Smith Rowe and Ben White? And I said, of course I will, because if they're wearing the England kit, then yes, I'm cheering for them. But other than that, no, of course not. I want them to I don't want to wish lifelong injuries on them, but enough to keep them out of games that would impact your season and make sure that you drop a significant amount of points, maybe into the relegation zone as well. I don't want you relegated, because then I would miss the NLD, right? So Tom's just saying he was a great guy, came across so well, kind and gentle. He's popular across the borders. And yeah, it says a lot, Tom. You're right, because again, you're seeing nothing but positivity and well wishes towards his family, shock through the community and everything like that. A lot of players have responded as well. A lot of media personalities have responded as well. It's pretty much consumed all over Twitter. But you touched on this right now, what we've got up in the banner here. Overmars is in the hospital. I know absolutely nothing about this. I know you told me about this, so why don't you give us a bit of fill-in terms of what you know about it?
Yeah, I don't know the full details myself. I just read it recently that as of yesterday, he had a stroke and is in hospital. So I'm not sure what the current condition is or the current status is, but it's shocking, right? Because it doesn't seem like that long ago I was watching him play. So for him to now have a stroke and be in hospital, it's astounding and shocking, right? And I don't think it'll be that long before other people that we consider heroes or people we grew up with are in the same boat. Yeah.
You got a big shout out here from the boys over at Tottenham away here, saying Bobby big up, and then the cousin big up as well. So there you go. Your first piece of love comes from Stel. I believe it's Stel, probably most likely. And you know what's funny? I call Stel jokingly the GBC, the Greek Black Cloud. Because he's always just a miserable shit sometimes, right? But he's a funny guy. So there you go. Out of all the people to send you your first piece of love, It's still. So good for
That's
you,
nice.
GBC. If
That's
that is
nice.
you, if not, if it's Iggy, big up Iggy. But it's most likely Stell. I'm going to think, right? So, and Benny was just saying, that's another. Viali was a friend, obviously, of Conte as well. So, um,
So he'll
he
probably make
has
mention of
lost
it in
now
his
two. We
conference or
lost our
something. And
fitness trainer just a few months ago,
that's right.
right? So
That's
that
right.
impacted him as well, right? So Stell had a quick question for you here. He missed this. We did discuss this at the beginning of the show here, but I'll let you just quickly give him the Coles Note version here if you want.
Yeah, so when I was, call it late teens, early 20s, and my brother had moved back from the UK, was big into Arsenal, and then of course he's my big brother, so looked up to him, and I was kind of done with hockey at that point, and sort of was an easy transition into supporting the same team, and haven't looked back since. And it was actually very nice for us. Remember, we used to go to the pubs early in the morning, 7 o'clock kickoffs, watching the games, having brekkie, all that stuff. It was
Yeah,
great. I miss those days.
yeah,
I miss those days. For a lot of the community,
yeah.
might not know this.
That was
Me,
that was
you, and
pre-kid.
me, three kids. Yeah, but also me, you, and my brother all used to work together. So there were times where we'd be like
Yes,
hitting it up and going to work, and also be like, let's hit the pub. We'll get to watch the games, and then maybe we'll go hit the job front and whatever else. And good times.
they were, buddy. They were, and nothing's. I'm gonna unfortunately gonna bring them back until the kids are older. Now that you're expecting one as well, we've only got to wait 18 years until we can finally get out and enjoy this stuff. But Dan's Nan was kind enough to drop a little song here for us. You might know this verse.
Yeah. Bought him a little to an Arsenal. Yeah. I'm familiar with this.
You were
Your
like,
guy,
okay,
I
just
I heard
making
you.
sure, just
I heard
making
your
sure.
kid singing this in the car the other day when you called me.
What? Oh, look at
Yeah.
that. Why, dude, you're getting loving from Danny. Danny making me jealous now. Danny is the guy that pretty much everybody flirts with in the YouTube community because he's just so friggin' sexy. He's
Wow.
just
All
all
right.
kinds of man beauty. Yeah,
Thanks,
he is
Danny.
a lovely, lovely guy. Still,
Gujarati
the
Brown
Gujarati
Cloud.
Brown. Oh, nice. Look at that. Ben's already saying next time he comes around, he's joining us for some wings as well. You're getting much love here, Rob. You're
I love
getting
it.
much loving
I
in
know,
the
I
chat
know the
now,
best
man.
wing joints in Toronto, so let me
There
know
you
and
go.
we'll hit it
Actually,
up.
you know what, Ben? That's a good shout because Robbie knows a lot more about these places and stuff because he's more of a social guy than I am. So he would actually know the great places to take us. But we did have a couple of questions in here, and
Shoot,
we just
shoot.
wanted to get to them quickly. What was your favorite NLD moment? Paul is asking.
Probably. God, I don't know. I would say the draw at White Hart Lane that won us the league, and yeah, I remember that. That was pretty awe-inspiring, and I'm not ashamed to say I'm pretty sure I probably cried when that happened. So
So
yeah,
you just brought up on this stream the draw you had
he
at
asked me
White Hart
that.
Lane. The one was the NLD moment that helped you win the league. Okay, so that's the last show of What's Buzzin Cuzzin. Clearly, you can see as in the debut that the show is going to end now. Thank you for joining us for 35 minutes.
I saw. I don't know what else to say. I'd be like,
No.
right.
No. Be honest, Robbie.
I
Be
hated
honest,
it.
man. That's it. So those are the things. For me, for me the best NLD. I just lifted me off my seat and gave me goosebumps kind of thing was the one where Harry Kane ripped his mask off. That game still, that moment in that game was just epic. And I remember the kids were beside me and I still remember Christian's face, little K's face, and he was just like, you know what I mean? And it was just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I
And
can
yes,
imagine.
Dan, by social, I mean he has friends, and well, I have like two or three, I think, still. I don't know. I think the kids like me. Stell's asking you a straight out question, buddy.
Most painful loss. I mean, I'd say last year's that cost us top four. That's one of the most painful. I'm sure there's a ton I could probably bring up, but that one was pretty painful. We capitulated so badly in that game. Um, I will give you guys some credit. The fact that there were so many people um,
Big up
against
Resi.
not necessarily against us, but the fact that there was four clubs all going for top four. You guys made some signings in January, and lo and behold, you got top four. And for Arsenal, even with a 2 point lead, the wheels just fell off, and the performance was terrible. Holding was terrible. So that was just terrible. A morning,
Sorry.
he seems like the sort of man who want to stab his co-host in the back and turn the show into Arsenal tribute stream. Your friend Kua is so mad. You like so mad.
No,
Um,
Robbie, once you get to know Cuba and you start meeting the people in this community and everything, the best part of this is I can picture Cuba sitting at home right now, typing this shit, giggling away like a little girl. Oh yeah, Cuba just comes up with some
it's
great
like when you
stuff,
send me
man.
texts, I can see you sometimes be like, "Ee." I'm like, I
That's
can
true
only
too.
see, imagine his face.
That's true too. That's true
Imagine
too.
his face going on
The
this.
Resonators in the house. Big up Resi. This is the guys from over at Shelf Side Spurs. Shelf Side Spurs. He's the one that's going to be picking me up from the airport, me and Christian. So really,
Yes,
really
yes.
looking forward to meeting him in person, man. Class guys, man. And he is the Lord of the Shelf. Yes, that is true. Robbie, we did have some other stuff we wanted to get into.
Yes.
We had this.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Bhupinder Singh Gill making us brown folk proud. Taking a moment in and basically putting his name into the history books as he went on to become the first Sikh Punjabi man to go ahead and be an assistant referee in the Premier League. So, proud moment for us as Indians and as Punjabis, of course. You always support your culture and your people. So, big up to Bhupinder. Fantastic. Well done to you, sir. Keep it up. Keep representing. You know what I mean? It's nice to see this happen because not only will it basically change things, but it inspires our generation, our people, our kids and our culture and stuff like that. It lets them know that these opportunities are out there and they're available to them as well. So well done to you, Bhupinder. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic
Yeah.
stuff there.
I will say, so there was a brief story by Howard Webb because Howard Webb knew his family while he was growing up and while he was doing his training. He was one of the first um, referees to be wearing a pug. He was wearing a pug and a turban and stuff, which was, it was like he knew exactly who he was. He knew the family very well. So Howard Webb kind of took him and um, what do you call it? Not mentored, but maybe showed him a bit of the way how to move forward. And long may it continue, man. Hopefully, more Punjabi people. We've talked about it. I
Yeah.
actually wouldn't mind seeing some more Punjabi people players. And if anybody knows, Team Canada had about six players from Brampton, which is our neck of the woods. There's a lot of Indian people, and a lot of Indians are now following soccer, EPL specifically, if not the global game. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some Punjabi Canadians who got into that Team Canada side. I'm surprised there aren't more um, in other countries as well, because we're a global populace, man.
Yeah. Yeah. We got this comment here from Alan as well. Here, big up 10-inch. All Spurs fans hope that your draw with Newcastle is the beginning of the end. So, your response to that? How do you feel about that? Let's talk about that quickly. You
Sure,
did have
yeah.
the draw with
So
Newcastle. There was a controversial moment where that people would argue that you guys deserved a penalty. So, your thoughts? Why don't you give us your quick synopsis regarding this?
yeah, I mean, I don't really, everyone knows the refereeing in this league is terrible, but I will say there were a couple of bad moments. I didn't think, quite frankly, I didn't think Newcastle in their position would come to the Emirates looking to lock up shop like they did. I thought, given their position and the fact Omron has been on fire, Callum Wilson was there, I thought they would have played a little bit more openly. But I get it, and props to Eddie Howe, like
He's done well over
the way he set up specifically to get the point. He was not looking for the win, maybe on a counterattack or maybe a dodgy pen or something, or from a corner. They've got a very tall, aggressive team. Their defense is second to none in the league. So yeah, I mean, credit to them. Eddie Howe's done a great job. I wasn't going away saying, "Oh, this is the beginning of the end," and throwing my hands up. It was a well-deserved point by Newcastle. I feel like it was 2 points dropped by Arsenal. Really, it's those games, and City fans will tell you, Liverpool fans will tell you, when they're going to opposition grounds, even Newcastle, who are in the top four fight, they don't have to go toe to toe. They don't have to play open, expansive football. They can lock up shop and go for the point and be like, we came here with a game plan. This is exactly what we wanted. And credit to them, they smothered our attack on both wings with both Martinelli and Saka, as well as Odegaard. They knew that our attacking line was dependent on those three guys, and they smothered them every single time that Saka had the ball. Longstaff, Almiron, everyone surrounding them. Anytime Odegaard didn't have a minute to breathe, Martinelli, I think, had a weak game. So I don't think it was the end, the beginning of the end, but we got some tough games. So I don't think, quite frankly, for the NLD, I don't think Conte is going to be closing up shop. He's going to be like, no, we're here for the win. We need the win. Rarely, if ever, have I seen a Tottenham game where they're like, no, we're good with the draw. So I think that'll be a
I
little bit
don't think
different.
so. Not with this game. I think it's going to
No.
be it's going to be a win or lose situation. I think it's going to be guns blazing or nothing
Yeah.
kind of thing. But we do have a few other things that we wanted to get into. You, Alan asked another question earlier. How come you have not disowned your Gooner? Because to be honest with you, Alan, by the time he became a Gooner, he was already etched in my heart, and it was too late by that point. So he was, we
We're
were
family.
close.
We're
Yeah,
family.
it's one of those things. Honestly, Alan, it's my mom. She was like, even when he was little, he's like, can you just be nicer to Rob? Be nice. And even Rob's mom would be like, Bobby, can you please be nicer to Robbie? Stop sitting on him. Stop stealing all his food. Stop stealing his comics and stuff. So by default, eventually I did have to be nicer. Mile high here. Leo is asking you a question over here. So do you think Tottenham team, as we stand, is capable of winning the FA Cup this year with the team we have currently?
On current form, I'm going to say no. I will say you probably will
Fair
go
enough.
deep. We've got Portsmouth. We're going to talk about that as well. You got Portsmouth coming up. I don't know what, and we'll dive into it, I'm sure, but I don't know what your guys' plans are in the January transfer window, if any. But
Neither do we.
I don't think you guys have enough. I think I wouldn't be shocked if one of the other big six, or maybe even Newcastle, quite frankly. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those other guys could make a run at it. Brighton have had a decent start, even with all the Potter stuff. So I just don't think Spurs have enough. But we're gonna let's get into your game because there's two sides. It seems like two sides of a
Oh,
coin
two
with
halves,
Tottenham.
that's for sure. But
Yeah,
I just want to quickly get caught up right here because we're really behind with the comments and everybody's input. Thank you, everybody, for the chat, to contributing, and thank you for joining us on
thank you,
Robbie's
thank you.
debut show and
Yeah,
everything.
thanks.
Really, really appreciate all the support, everybody. Big love to Jacob. I know you tried to send the link, hot link or whatever the hell it's called or whatever, but you still shared the link and everything. You sent everybody over here, so thank you. Much love to you and Michael over the United Spurs of America. Robbie, you already said it when I told you the name. One of the best YouTube names. It's absolutely fantastic. But you're getting a lot of love here. And Stell's got another question for you, or a statement here, basically. That and I think Stell's right with what he's saying here. If Conte sets up to shut down Arsenal and be defensive, he'll be blasted. Conte out starts ringing through the stadium. But Conte at Newcastle does it. Eddie Howe's a master.
Yeah, I mean I think that's more of
That's
a comment towards your manager, not necessarily our guys. Like I wouldn't necessarily say if Conte played that type of ball that he's got as good a defense as Eddie Howe, right? Quite frankly. So I think he would have no choice but to play a little bit more open and expansive. And why wouldn't you if you've got Kane now firing, just come off the back of two goals? Why wouldn't you play more expansive football to get those points? Because top four is not a guarantee for
no.
you guys, right? So you guys need the points on the board. You got Man United breathing down everyone's neck. You got Newcastle. So a draw, I mean, yeah, is it a good point at home? You tell me. For us, given the fact that we never go there and get results,
Yeah.
probably a better point for us.
Well, it's funny you say that because as you say that, I was just reading over Stell's comment here. 100% Conte will shut up shop because he knows we're shit and we can't go to toe with your players right now, especially Bentancur and Kulusevski.
Are they going
So
to be missing for the NLD?
Bentancur is a maybe from my understanding. I'm pretty sure Kulu will still be out. So if
What
anybody in
about
the chat knows better than I do, please let us know.
what about
Um,
Richarlison?
oh, he's out still.
He's going to be out too. So you got a thin
He's out
squad.
until I think mid-February at least, from what I remember last.
Oh, so similar to Jesus, right? I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Brazilians had a bad World Cup, clearly. We got a few starred chats here, comments and stuff that I wanted to just quickly wrap into here, and then we'll talk about the Tottenham game as well. We have a request here from Ben Kaufman, and Ben Kaufman is a big contributor and a mod on this channel, so we have to honor Ben's request. And he spelled. You can't say no. You can't say that, but it's a PH. It's a Pakayu Sanjay.
Pakayu Sanjay.
No. With a little. Come on, not, dude. What the hell is that? You're not Spanish. Pakayu Sanjay.
Pakayu Sanjay. How's that? Is that better?
I don't know, but the way you're saying Sanjay, it's too almost Caucasianly challenged.
Sanjay.
Pakayu Sanjay.
Pakayu Sanjay.
Much better. Benny, hopefully you're happy with that.
We should say it in Punjabi. You have a lot of Punjabi people watching this? We should probably not say it in Punjabi.
No, I think just you and me.
Oh.
I know.
Sanjay.
There you go. Nipin's Hindu, so he'll understand. He speaks Punjabi. Stel's just saying, once the first Indian Premier League player bursts onto the scenes, that will be a game changer. I 100% agree with that. 100%.
I'm surprised. You know, when you think about all these owners, quite frankly, and if football's a business, right? If you're looking at a global market, they're looking at Asia. Why not look at India? There's 1 billion people there, right?
Because
so
India's so freaking corrupt, Robbie. We all know what happens in football in India. India is a cricket country. That the money goes there and everything. The money is put into these football academies over there and everything. And FIFA has been sending it over. You know, I was talking to you about watching that show FIFA Uncovered and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how they developed in Africa and everything. And I don't think they've done it in India because simply the money just doesn't make it to the end. It gets filtered through so many different people that by the time it gets to the end, that million pound ends up being £10.
Yeah,
you know, everybody's got a hand and taking a chunk out of it, and taking a chunk out of it, and taking a chunk out of it. So that's what's really disappointing. Sure.
I personally, my personal opinion is that, I mean, again, since Canada is so multicultural, I wouldn't be shocked if the first Punjabi player plays for Canada. Quite frankly, and let's be honest, we are investing a lot in football, right? Especially with Alphonso Davies
here, where we are, where we live here, it's a majorly large Indian community and stuff. Even where I'm coaching with the kids and stuff like that, you see the league is predominantly Indian kids, and it's growing. The sport itself is growing, and Canada getting into the World Cup and everything, and now us hosting in the next 4 years partially and everything, it's going to help the game grow even bigger. I'm going to answer Kuva's...
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to answer Kuva's question quickly, and then we'll talk about the game, because we're already at 50 minutes here, and we haven't even got through half the things we wanted to even think about talking about. No, don't be sorry, man. It's your debut show, baby. So this is the way it should be. People want to get to know you. They got questions for you, and thank you all for asking them. Thank you for being involved.
No, thank you. Yeah, for
really,
sure.
Really appreciate it. But seriously, why the betrayal? Kuva, I'm sorry. Like they say, actually, there's no reason for the betrayal. I can't say no to Robbie. I just don't know how to say no to him. I'm sorry, Kuva. That's all I can say. I just don't know. It's all those years of abusing him when he was little kind of caught up to me, and I thought, as I'm older now, I'm going to start being nicer to him and stuff. So when this came along, I said yes.
Because I will say, I'm in sales primarily. I'm a great sales guy, so I just put it down to me. I sold Bob on this idea. Put it that way. So there is no betrayal. There's no betrayal.
There you go. Thank you, Robbie. So Kuva, it's Rob that betrayed you, not Bob. Okay, that brown guy betrayed you, not this one. Okay, and a pucker you fucking Sanjay. Big up, Sanjay. Yeah. So now we want to talk about our game. Okay. So like you said, a game of two halves, wasn't it, Robbie? First half, dismal, poor, void of creativity. Brian Hill got on a few balls, made a few runs and everything, but got knocked off pretty easily as well. Some points. Højbjerg was disappointing. He was giving the ball away left, right, and center. But then that second half, it seems like Conte went in there and literally firmly places nice Italian shoes straight up the asses of several players, because to get that goal pretty much off the whistle in the second half made a big difference for us. Started off basically a firing squad. And to me, Brian Hill, I think played very well. I know a lot of our fan base is still sitting here saying that he doesn't have enough minutes. We can't judge him based on this performance. Look what he's done in other games thus far and everything. And they're right. Both sides of the argument are right. I'm going to look at what he did in this game. I think he did very well. I think his movement was very good. He moved well with the ball and everything. His ball to set up Kane's second goal is great. He was sending the balls into the box as quick as he could. He wasn't waiting for players to get back. He was sending that first ball in. I think he did very well. It was great to see Kane score. It was even better to see Kane score that second goal, because I don't know if you saw it and saw his celebration, but once he got that second goal, his smile, he had that reminiscent Kane smile of old. This season it seemed like it was more of a forced smile when he was celebrating kind of thing, or it was a half smile, but he was really, really proud of that moment kind of thing. And it was a great goal, the way he just took the ball, turned and popped it into that bottom left corner there. So I was just happy to see that. And then I was worried about Sonny. Of course, he had his opportunities and kept missing and had that one-on-one with the goalie that got saved and everything. And then he finally potted one. Yeah. And the mask went. And it was great to see.
Kane's precision for that goal for the second was unreal, right? I don't even think he lifted his head up. Like, he just pinged that corner. The ball from Hill was fantastic. Son to get his goal, Doherty to get a goal as well. It's so weird. I mean, we've talked about it off air. Why does it take you guys to go down or something dramatic to happen before you guys kick into gear? That's a huge issue. Right?
As you ask that, the question is almost answered by my other partner in crime here. Kuva is saying we set up to play for a 0-0 draw. We go down 2 goals behind, which seems to be our standard right now. And then we start playing after the hour mark.
It's remarkable, right? It's almost boilerplate. Like, it happens all the time. Crystal Palace, shockingly, should have gotten something. They could have
been up.
Half.
They could have been up. They could have been 2 up possibly in the first half.
I mean,
if that play
terrible, but
where Ayew didn't pass the ball to
terrible.
Aloisi, is it? Elise. If he passed that ball to Elise, who was on the inside of the defender, it was a simple tap in for him. And the way he was running in, he could have turned to either foot and used either corner. So I think he would have definitely beat Lloris there. Lucky for us that didn't happen. We didn't have to finally go down 2 goals this time to kick in a result, but it was just great to see finally, a win, and a big win, and goals from open play and everything as well. So
it was a convincing second half win, but the first half, a better team like a City or a United, they're going to gobble up those chances. They will gobble up those chances. So, let's be fair. Zaha had a poor game. Their defense was pretty poor as well. I mean, they just came off the back of a 2 red card game midweek as well. So the fact that they couldn't get anything out of the first half and you guys just cranked it up another level really shows determination on your guys' part. But let's be fair. I mean, Crystal Palace, that second half, they folded. They folded like a ton of bricks.
Big time.
It was crazy.
Yeah. It was after that first goal. It seems like after that, we turned up the notch and they turned it down, because when you look at that squad on paper, there are some very good players in there. There's some decent players. They got a lot of pace. There's no doubting that. But now Stell, I know, is directing this question specifically to Kuva, but I think, do you think after what happened at the Emirates with our injuries, Conte will go more defensive? I certainly hope not, because I'm flying pretty far and I have to take my lovely kids with me. And it's his birthday, so I want to see.
I don't think he will.
Fireworks.
I don't think he will. I think it's a home game. He knows the history. He knows what happened last season. I think he's gonna open it up and go for it. I mean, again, the squad, your squad, is threadbare, right? Like, you've got a lot of injuries, but he can't set up for a 0-0 out of NLD with your defense.
Oh, Alan. See, Robbie, the once you start getting the fill-ins of all this stuff,
A lot
You
of
got to
inside
basically
jokes. I'm like,
you're going to start
Donkey.
watching. You need to start watching In the Wall and a show called a portion of that show called Wankety Wank, and you will understand all these references. And oh yeah, there's
Okay,
that's
fair
that's
enough.
tomorrow night. I'll be on there. And now that you've come into the community, Bob Spur is the host of that show, and I'm sure he'll eventually drag you over there as well one day for a show, and then you'll be having a laugh. So Stell has asked for a moment of silence for the Kuva betrayal. So hashtag free Kuva is trending now across the world.
Does she know like you don't do silence? It's a foreign word for
No,
you.
he doesn't
Oh,
know. Yeah,
sorry, my bad.
He's Stelios.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
yeah.
Sorry, my
He
bad.
doesn't know, but I will do a whole second of silence.
You're gonna have to do an apology video after this to be like, how dare you talk to your cousin about football? I'll kill you. It's gonna be one. It seems like one of those. So I mean, like I said, I think
Sorry, I
that,
just wanted
that
to quickly
game,
address this.
yeah,
Ben
go
and
on.
Jay, I know you got a little bit of back and forth going on, guys. Let's just keep it chill, man. Jay, I'll let you know now. Ben's mod, so and he likes his band hammer, so I don't want to see it brought out, man. Geez. But sorry, where were you? You were going to say something there, Robbie. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say. I mean, I think that boost, and when you said Kane getting his 2 goals, I think the big boost. Maybe there was some lethargy from the World Cup, maybe something else, but he looked super happy to get those 2 goals. First one I
Yes.
thought was incredible. Second one was even better. So and it's good that Son broke his duck. He always seems to score against us. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to next week. Um, and it was probably the boost that you guys needed in order to go into that game, maybe with some confidence. But you still got Portsmouth on Monday, Sunday,
Uh, tomorrow. No,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow, isn't it? Saturday, isn't it? Yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Oh my God.
Yeah, we got the early game, man. I'll be at work.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. Working or actually
Both.
the 7:30
Both.
kickoff. Oh, okay.
Both.
Danny is saying no free the Kuva. So screw you, Kuva. You stay locked up. So what do you think? Should we? Cheers, Jay. I appreciate it, man. I don't mind you guys going back and forth a little bit, but let's keep it nice. I know you guys are both decent guys, man. So let's just keep it proper, man. We were guys planning to do an hour show, which we're at the 58-minute mark of already, and we haven't touched any of our predictions here. So,
How about we do a
what do you think,
prediction
Robbie?
just on the NLD? Just one game NLD, maybe our FA Cup games. What do you think?
I was going to say let's just drop our scores quickly for these games.
Sure. Yeah.
Since we put all the banners in there already, we could just quickly
go ahead.
just think what our score or our results will be there, right?
Yeah.
So, first one we got is the one that's going on right now. This is all FA Cup games, guys, but we've only done the ones regarding the teams that are featuring in the Premier League. So with this one, I'm gonna go. I think it could be 3-1 for United. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Connor Cody's gonna end up scoring 2 goals, one for Everton and one an own goal, probably.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
3-1.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is a big shout. I see Anthony getting off the mark really early for United. Maybe in like the 3rd or 4th minute, I think he could. And then Cody's going to tie it up for them, but then he's going to get the own goal. And then
Rashford too.
I think
Rashford, I think is going to get a
Rashford,
penalty.
a late penalty with Rashford.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
Yeah,
could see that happening.
I'm going to put a 5 on it. I think maybe.
I think you can put more, Robbie.
Yeah.
Tottenham versus Portsmouth. We host Portsmouth tomorrow. Coming off the game that we just had, I think it's the FA Cup, and teams like Portsmouth are banana peel teams, unfortunately for us. So
you guys are home, right? You guys
we're
are
at home, so I'll still go 2-0 to the Spurs for us here. What do you think?
Yeah, I would probably say 2-0, even with even if you were to play some of your younger guys and rest some mainstays. I think you guys.
I think we're going to
enough.
have to with the NLD coming up. I think we really have to.
You'll have enough. I think you'll have enough to beat those guys.
Yeah. Oh, Kuva said it's going to be a boring game, so it's going to be 11-6.
That seems pretty boring. This is like a FIFA score. I've never seen a 17-goal game before, so it's worth waking up 7:30 in the morning to catch it if there's going to be 17 goals in it.
I got you, Benny. I got you, buddy. No worries. I understand, man. I know Jay and you guys are both good guys and everything. So it's all good. It's all good. Gillingham is going to be hosting Leicester. Did I spell Leicester right?
Yeah,
Leic.
that's
Yeah, I
right.
did. Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
This is a tough one, Robbie. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you because the fact that they're away and going here, and their recent results have just been shit, for lack of better words. Um, I Gillingham. I still remember they took us out of the FA Cup a couple of years back, and I think it was in the first round. And I don't know. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong with that one, but I don't think that this can be just discredited completely. But I am going to give Leicester the 1-0 win.
Yeah, I read something very interesting the other day that, again, rumor mill, that Rogers is looking to walk, but he wants Leicester to fire him, obviously, to get the payout. So he's basically just setting them up to fail.
Ah,
The payout's big. The payout's big from Leicester. I want to say 10, 20 some odd mil. I could be wrong, but I think even their B team should have enough to beat Gillingham away. So I'm going to go. I don't think it's going to be a barn burner. I'll say a 1-0 Leicester win.
yeah. So same. We should write these down and see whose predictions are right. But we're cut on time for this one, so we'll do
No, I'll
that
write it
next
down.
time.
I'll write it down.
You want to do? You want to write them down?
I got him down. Yeah.
So the first game, then we both obviously got right. United versus Everton. The Spurs one. I'm saying 2-0 to the Spurs. So what did you say for that one?
Same.
Same, and we're both saying 1-0 to Leicester here. Okay, so we're
Yeah.
pretty much all on the same page. Crystal Palace will be hosting Southampton. Both teams struggling right now, poor form on both sides. I personally think Crystal Palace has a little bit more to offer than Southampton does. So, and they're at home. I'm gonna edge this one over to Crystal Palace, and I think they might actually get a couple of goals because Southampton is that poor. I'm going to go 2-0 to Palace on this one. I think they need to bounce back after that shellacking they took from us as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0 Palace. I
3-0.
fear for Southampton, quite frankly. I don't know what's going on there. I think they made a really bad call. Maybe not sacking their coach, but the replacement coach that they got, he's a League Two coach, championship coach. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, I'm going to 3-0 Crystal Palace, Vieira masterclass against Southampton.
Fair enough. Nice one. Okay, so 2-0 and 3-0 here, and then we go on to the next one here. Hull is going to be hosting Fulham. I know Hull is not doing well in they're in the championship still, so I'm pretty sure they're in the bottom half of that table as well. Whereas Fulham has been a pleasant surprise for a team
Impressive.
that everybody wrote off as relegation contenders right at the beginning of the season. Mitrovic has just been an absolute beast for them. I like that team.
Pereira too has been
Tim
fantastic
Ream.
for them. Ream has been very
I
good.
like that Ream kid.
I'm
Yeah, the
very
American
irritated,
kid.
that they took Leno from us at like no money, and Willian has actually gone there, and he's kind of been a revelation there from what I've heard from some Fulham fans, and I'm like, this guy was washed. This guy was washed when he came to us. He couldn't kick a ball.
Yeah, but
Leno's
that's
been doing
that's
very well.
sometimes that's what it takes, Robbie. You and I both know that. These guys got to go right down to the bottom, scrape the barrel before they're kind of resurrected sometimes. And to me, I like to see a player get resurrected. I like to see a player go off, and as long as it's
Everybody
not a
likes a
player that
comeback
was,
story, right?
yeah, except for unless it's a player that was shit for us and then went to a different team and was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're shit for Tottenham, I hope you say shit for life. That's it. Yeah, that's just a personal opinion, though. With
Fulham
this
would
one,
be okay.
I think Fulham's going to give them a shellacking on this one. I'm going to go 4-1 here.
Really? Wow. Okay. I'm gonna stick to the 3-0. I just see Fulham, even their B squad should be able to handle Hull.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you're going 4-1?
I'm going 4-1 with this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and here Ben saying if they're not relegation fodder and they have a top coach, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, Willian has been brilliant he's a fountain of knowledge in a young team. There you go. Sometimes that
Experience.
mix it, yeah, bringing that experience in to help the
That's
youth
what
kind of,
Arsenal wanted from him, right? That's why they
yeah,
brought him in, and they'd be like, "Hey, man, you've won it at all at Chelsea. Bring some of that sort of elder statesman knowledge to Arsenal." And he kind of just, kicked up his feet.
Yeah, but I think
So
that the thing there, Robbie, is that when he came to Arsenal, he came with expectations. When he didn't live up to those expectations and he faltered off, he's written off now as a player. So when he went to Fulham, he's doesn't have that weight on his shoulders, kind of thing. He could just kind of go and get on with his business and play
I'll give
football.
him credit. He
So
actually
I think
canceled his
that
own
might make a difference, right?
he canceled his own contract and went to Brazil, right, to go play, I think, or Sampdoria or somewhere. And he was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm done with this." So credit to him. He could have just held his hostage on his. He was on some pretty fat wages,
Yeah,
but now he's
yeah, he
back in
could have.
London and he's
Yeah,
doing bits. He's doing
yeah.
bits. So
That's why he went to you instead of us, because of the wages.
yeah,
We weren't willing to give him what he wanted. So simple as that. Getting on to the next one here. Middlesbrough is going to host Brighton. Brighton, another solid team. Middlesbrough, no slouches down there, but I think this is going to be a walk in the park for Brighton here. I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to go, but I don't know how well. Do you know how well Middlesbrough's doing?
I don't. I know they were runners up, I think, last year to get promoted. They beat us in the FA Cup actually last year, Boxing Day, I want to say. But they had a young player by the name of Jed Spence on loan last year when they beat us. So I don't really follow Middlesbrough
Pretty good
now.
player, apparently. I'd like to see him play a game.
Well, I mean, we'll have to say that for the next time because we'll have to talk about why Conte is so allergic to young talent. I just don't get it.
Well, you can't say that because look at Brian Hill, and then Sarr came in as well and looked well, and he was praising both of them. He gave Brian Hill a big, big hug when he came off. So
It's true. Why doesn't he do more of that, right? Like I saw Skip started as well, but is that more needs must? Like
at the end of the day, Robbie, you know what? The coaches, they know more than we ever will. That's
true.
that's
It's true.
that's the reality of it too. So it's we got to trust our managers. Just wait, look, Robbie, you guys were screaming for Arteta out just a year ago. Go back 16 months ago, and a lot of your fan base was hardcore Arteta out.
After the first
So things
three
change,
games
right?
last year, yeah, absolutely. It was terrible. Where are they in the championship?
Kuba and Ben, Kuba and Ben. I can still picture Kuba just giggling away. I love you, man. So what are your score prediction here? I'm going 3-2 for Brighton, regardless of where you tell me they are.
They're fifth, but they've been on a run. 4 wins, 1 loss.
4 wins, 1 loss. Okay, so I'll stick with my 3-2 then.
I'm gonna go upset here. I'm gonna say Middlesbrough because I don't think De Serbi's gonna really use a lot of the first team players. And to be fair, we did put 4 past him, so I'm gonna go 2-1 Borough.
Okay, yeah. You might be onto something there.
And you went 3-1, right? Middlesbrough? Or 3-1,
I went
right?
3-2 Brighton.
3-2 Brighton, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alan is just saying that his ex-cousin is a gooner. So I don't know if that's some sort of subliminal message or some sort of
how do you divorce your cousin? You divorce your cousin?
Well, I don't know. I know down on the East Coast, if you're my cousin and we get a divorce, are we still, or we get divorced and we're married, are we still cousins? Isn't that the question or something like that? Yeah.
You're lucky you're my cousin and my husband.
Yeah. Now go get all your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is sorry. I agree with Ben here. I think I'm very interested in him as well. I think he was very calm on the ball.
For Watford? From Watford?
No, Arsar. Pape Matasar.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh,
young
yeah,
kid. Yeah. So he's African. Benny's put it here. It's from Senegal. Yeah. I was just trying to think if it was Cameroon or Senegal.
Did he
play, Senegal. So there you go.
Did he play in the World Cup? Does anybody know?
Yeah, he started. He started.
Good.
Yeah, he did well. Play. So he's not a small kid. Benny's putting it here. He's 6'1". He's could be 6'3", 6'4". I think he's 19 or 20.
So those two, that's going to be one of my comments about Brian Hill. He needs to bulk up. And same with probably Sarr. Then he needs to bulk up a little bit.
It's funny you say that though, because Kuva was talking about this, and Kuva was a younger, fitter player, and he was told to bulk up. So he went on the steaks and the protein and everything and bulked up. And he said he put on the mass, but then he lost a step.
Yeah, because you got to carry all that weight. You got to carry that muscle,
that's the thing.
Right?
So with Brian Hill, jokingly, he's being referred to as Hill Messi because of his stature and everything. So nobody's going around saying Messi needs to bulk up.
No, it's true. I mean, but at the same time, when you talk about our game, and I noticed it in our game, with not bringing on Fabio Vieira, who was one of our other attacking options. When you look at that Newcastle Arsenal game, bodies were flying, tackles were flying, yellows were flying, big body moments, right? I didn't see that physicality in your game, and maybe I missed a lot of it, but I don't think so. It's one of those things where you're like, would you get a young, scrappy kid in one of these games? Because you also risk injury, right? If they're not
Yeah.
tough enough.
Yeah, and if they don't have the mindset to come into this thing, it could be detrimental to you, right?
Right?
So
Because
let's
you
get
could
on
get
to the
bodied.
next one here, buddy.
Yes.
Bournemouth and Burnley. Bournemouth hosting Burnley. What are your thoughts?
Burnley. I think Bournemouth are abysmal. It doesn't matter that
Yep.
they're in the Prem. They're doing terrible. I don't understand it. They have a really good bounce after they got rid of their manager, but no, I don't think it's good.
Benny's just saying the reason they tell Hill to bulk up is because people just look at him and he falls over. So
Is he a diver? Is he a diver? Is that what that
no,
means?
no. He's just light on his feet, basically. I'm with you on this one. I think Bournemouth are just absolutely dreadful. I think Burnley can squeak this one out here. I'm going to give it to Burnley at 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going 1-0 Burnley. I think from everything that I've heard, Company's doing really well at Burnley as the coach. He's the one who kind of brought forward one of a couple of younger players. I think he's going to do really well. So yeah, I'm going 1-0 Burnley.
And the new manager bounced on their side as well, right? So
Yeah.
we'll see how that works out. Blackpool hosting Forest. Forest coming off that draw. They just drew.
No, they beat Southampton.
Beat Southampton, but who they drew a big? Wasn't it Chelsea? They just drew the week before, or something like that, or pretty sure they drew one of the teams. So, but regardless, I think Blackpool or where are they sitting at the bottom of the table in the championship there? So, or are they
Not very high. I mean, regardless, I think it's a Forest win.
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably again. My scores are so low. I'm going to say 1-0 Forest.
I honestly would echo that. Well, I'll go 2-0. I'll go 2-0 because you got to remember Forest went and bought 340 players in the transfer window.
And are
so
looking
even
for more.
Their B team.
And are looking for more.
Yeah, their B team is as good as pretty much their A team. So I think Forest is going to push out a little bit here. So I'll go 2-0 to them here.
Yeah,
Brentford is hosting West Ham.
It was Serge Aurier who scored for Forest in that last tie game. I can't remember who they
don't
played.
Remind me.
Don't
remind me when we got Emerson Royale.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, we got Chicken Royale there, buddy. What do you think here, buddy? Brentford is hosting West Ham.
West Ham are abysmal. I'm giving it to Brentford, especially if they're at home. Thomas Frank, I think, is a shout. He's going to move on to a big club, and he's going to move on to a big club where he'll do well, is my prediction. So, Moyes, I think Moyes is going to get canned soon.
Yeah.
I know.
And I think that's happening. Like that, those rumors are thick and fast. And
yeah, West Ham fans are paying for his blood, man. Like, I don't understand it. They spent a lot of money, so I don't understand why they are not gelling. Like, Paqueta looks weak. They're going to lose Rice. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Fabianski is a decent goalie as far as I'm concerned.
And Bradford are playing well, man. They've taken down some giants this year, and they've got some good results for themselves and everything. So, like you said, I'm going to give it to Brentford here as well. But I think you got to look at. I think Samaka was hurt as well for West Ham. I think Antonio was out for a little while as well. So I think they had no strikers for a little bit and everything. So overloaded in the midfield with average players that it seems like when they brought Paqueta, I was jealous. But they're not. They're playing average.
They are playing average.
That's what I'm saying. They're playing below their own level, or what?
And I don't get why Moyes, because last year he was playing very. They got to the final of the Europa League or the semifinal, or the conference. I can't remember, but it's night and day in comparison to last year. So I don't get what's happening at West Ham. They spent a buttload of money. They're going to get more money on Declan Rice. But if they're going to invest that money, they're going to need a new guy and a new project. So I think days are numbered for Moisey, maybe until the end of the season. I don't know. But I'm going 2-0 Brentford on this one anyways.
I'll echo that. I think, I'm going to go 2-0 as well with that one. Well, you got your another compliment. You're getting all kinds of praise now. When it started out with all shots at you, now you're getting the love, buddy.
Oh, that's nice.
Alan saying you're okay.
Wait till they get to know me, and then they can
For a
hate me
gooner.
properly.
For a gooner. Nippin, the
Thanks,
game
Alan.
tomorrow is at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I know we like to still call it White Hart Lane because for some reason our club has not gone and got naming rights, which produce more income. And we know how much the board loves money. So I don't have any idea why that's not happening. But going on to the next one here. We just did that one. We did that one. So we are here now. Sheffield is hosting Newcastle. I'll take on this one first. I think easily 3-0 for Newcastle. I think that Eddie Howe is working some serious magic over there. They bought very, very well in the transfer window. They addressed pretty much every area that they need to address. They did very, very well in terms of setting up their foundation to move forward and get into. I think this summer is going to be massive for them. And I also think that the team, the players know that the owners have a lot of money now and they can be replaced. So these guys are playing for their spots. So that's why they're leaving everything out on the field. I honestly think this could be a big one. I think I'm going to go Newcastle is going to actually smash these guys. I'm going to go 4-0.
Really? Okay. And keep in mind, I have a feeling they're going to invest in January. They got endless possibilities there. And it's a good project. I also wanted to talk about Kane's future because I could theoretically, and your fans won't like this, I could see him going to Newcastle for a big project, taking Alan Shearer's number and breaking his record next year. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility if they get top four.
I think that might be the only place left to go in reality.
For me, I think it's between United and Newcastle, quite frankly.
Yeah, he's not going to City, no.
He won't go to City.
No,
he's not going to go to Chelsea. He's not coming to us unless he signs a new deal. But, I mean, if Conte and there's still a lot of unknown or uncertainty.
There's a lot of unknown, and that's the problem, right? So,
yeah.
So we get that addressed. What are your thoughts on this one? What do you think?
Newcastle, I'm going to go 2-0. I like what they're doing. It's scary. It's scary simply because I think Newcastle is going to be a big threat sooner rather than later. They're going to accelerate and they're going to be really dangerous really soon.
Fair enough. Liverpool is hosting Wolverhampton.
Wolves are pants. Wolves are not doing well. To be fair, neither is Liverpool.
Neither Liverpool, and Van Dijk is now out, right?
Yeah, he's out 6 weeks with a hamstring. He's never been the same after that Pickford injury. And I don't know what convinced him. I mean, some people I've seen give him credit for taking that first pen for Netherlands. Other people lambaste him for it. Like, what are you doing? You're not a penalty taker. But it is what it is. Liverpool, I mean, if Wolves had a little bit more, I think they could take something from this game. But I'm gonna go a 1-0 Liverpool win. Dull game. I see a dull game here.
Well, Alan was just saying that he's echoing your comments there regarding Kane, that if he goes anywhere, possibly could be off to Newcastle. So
he's saying
United or Newcastle, right? So
yeah, I think it's an ideal situation, right? They're going to meet his wage demands. He's going to be in the EPL. He's going to break Shearer's record. And Newcastle, they're working on a project, right? So if they need a new winger, they need a new DM, they need a new goalie, whoever they need. They'll go out and buy it.
Yeah.
Right? And they can build a team not just around Kane.
I don't think they're just going to buy, though. I think they're going to actually.
No, they'll buy smart.
They've been buying smart thus far. So
yeah.
So what are our predictions here, Robbie? What are you saying?
Mine here is a boring 1-0 Liverpool win. I think this game is going to be boring as hell.
I can see that happening, but I still think Liverpool will etch out a 2-0 win. Because, Darwin Nunez is just a beast in front of the net.
Can't finish, man. He can't finish his dinner. I wonder if Gakpo, do you think Gakpo plays in this game? They signed Cody Gakpo from...
yeah, that's right. But is he over already?
Yeah, 37 mil.
No. But is he over? Is he at Liverpool? Is he training?
Oh, that I don't know. I haven't seen any photos, but I would assume he's... the deal's done. We're in January. Yeah.
That'll be a difference maker, won't it? That will be a difference maker.
That would
Now,
be at least exciting.
The one big game on the menu, actually. Two powerhouses going up against each other, or one powerhouse and one team that's currently in the mud right now. Chelsea have looked absolutely disappointing. I was surprised Man City only beat them 1-0. Was it yesterday?
That was shocking. That was yesterday.
Yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. So
Stones had a worldie. To be fair, as an Arsenal fan, and I know you got some Chelsea fans in here, Oba's washed. Aubameyang is washed. So glad that we got rid of him. The team looks so much better than him, or without him. But City, I just don't. Pep does a lot of tinkering, so it'd be interesting to see that. I think their young squad, the Cole Palmer, the Rico Lewis, if he plays that youngish squad, he'll do okay. Potter's got a big job at Chelsea. But a long time to do it.
Potter's got. If you look at that squad, I would say on paper their B squad is stronger than City's B squad.
I would agree with that, but I still think City's youth has it over Chelsea's youth, and I don't know what Potter is doing. He integrated a couple of younger guys, Lewis Hall, one of the guys that Omari Hutchinson that they took from us. So he brought on some young kids, but needs must, maybe because Sterling got injured, Pulisic got injured. So I mean, I can't see anything here other than a convincing City win. I will go, and it's at Man City, so I'm gonna go 2-1. I don't think personally. I mean, I appreciate that comment. I don't think Potter's in danger. 5 years, 60 mil. They just revamped their entire that's a big.
I think he'd be in danger if Abramovich was still there, but we'll have to see how Bowley does, right? So it's a different animal now, right? So
it would throw. I think it would throw the fan base into huge turmoil if he got rid of Potter now.
This early,
right?
Yeah.
It would be. Regardless of the results, it would be more the fan base turning and be like, "What is this guy doing?"
Yeah, Nippin, if you're still in the chat, buddy, what do you think? Potter in or Potter out, buddy? Let us know what you think, buddy. I'll just give my square prediction on this one, Robbie, because we got to actually get wrapped up here soon.
Yeah, of course.
I gotta go pick up your nephew, chauffeur them around, and with this one, I think it's going to be a boring kids game here. I really do. I think Chelsea's youngsters or B team will might be able to etch it out, but then it's at City, so the empty had. I think Chelsea might squeak it out here. No, I don't actually. Who am I lying to? I'll leave it to a boring 1-0 City win.
Yeah, I went 2-0 City.
Okay,
let's
so
go through this. Leeds.
Cardiff hosting Leeds.
2-0 Leeds. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, Ben is saying here in regards to Potter, he needs time. He's got credit at the bank. He's done well everywhere he's gone. So he did really, really well where
and
he was over at
none
Brighton.
Of his players, right? He's got none of his players. He hasn't even had a window. So
he brought in Cucurella already, and he brought in some players already.
No. That was before, man. That was even before he took over. That was a Tuchel signing.
Was he a Tuchel signing as well? Well, you should know him at least.
True, but he isn't under Potter, and I don't see the formation and people gelling. It just seemed like a big scattergun approach when they bought everybody, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's just go. It's like kind of what Man City did the first time they got the money, where they just went and bought,
Robinho
and it didn't work. Yeah, and it just
basically like opening up the paper, be like, "Oh, this guy looks good. Buy this guy." Oh, Enzo.
Or it's like turning on the PlayStation and going into FIFA and saying, "Okay, look up the highest rated players. Okay, I'll take him, and him." Yeah. So
it's exactly
with Leeds versus Cardiff, long trip for Leeds to go all the way up there. I'll give it to them though. Let's go 1-0 for them.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0 Leeds.
Okay, and
they look good the other day.
Villa is hosting Stevenage.
Good evening. I am going to say props to Unai. I do rate him as a coach. I wish he'd done better at Arsenal. I'm going to go Aston Villa 2-0.
Add one for me, and I'll go 3-0 to that one because I think they actually look pretty good against us, and I think he's got them organized pretty well, as bad as it is to say. Last but not least, your game here. You're going all the way over to the powerhouse that is Oxford.
Yeah, I hope, we've got a very thin squad, but a lot of good young academy guys, a lot of youth on our bench that need game time. So I really hope for a game like this that he rests the Saka, the Martinelli, maybe even the Eddie, and just start playing a whole bunch of youth guys. Our youth realistically should be able to beat Oxford. So I'm gonna go um, 2-0, 2-0 to the Arsenal.
All right, I'm going 5-0 for Oxford.
Okay.
No, no, I think you're right. Credit where credit is due. Arteta's done a good job over there, especially considering just such short time ago, people were calling for his head, and we're laughing at him as Spurs fans, calling him Fraud Teta and Lego Man and this and that. So, it's funny you say using your young squad because pretty much your entire team is young.
True.
Even your
True.
starting 11 is I think averaging 25 years old or something like that. So,
Yeah, we're the second
uh,
youngest in the league.
yeah, I'll give it to you boys on this one. But you're going to Oxford, so I don't think it's going to be a complete shootout. I'll give it to you at 2-0.
2-0 as well. Okay. Yeah, and like you said, I mean, the future looks bright. A lot of young kids, but also a lot of young kids coming through the academy that I do rate. A lot of young
Okay.
kids on loan that I also rate. Balogun's killing it in Ligue 1, and Patino is at Blackpool. He's killing it as well. A lot of rumor mill around that young kid, so I'm
Well,
excited. I'm
what happened
excited.
to this Vieira midfielder kid that you bought that looked like a
He was
toothpick?
on he was on the bench for the Newcastle game. He would have been the only attacking option I would have brought on, but given the pace and the physicality of that game, I think he would have been bodied in that game.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I
Fair
can
enough.
see him starting this game. I can see Marquinhos starting, some other young kids starting in this one. Hein probably in goal. Um, yeah, so definitely some youth. Maybe even I don't even know if Smith Rowe's ready to have a run out, but there'll be some young kids ready to come off that bench.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So that is our wrap up. We've got all the game predictions in we wanted. Your debut is officially coming to its end, cuz. So how do you feel? How do you think it went? Any final thoughts? Any final comments before you leave? Before we
Yeah,
leave?
I just want to say, thanks to the community for watching, and hopefully I didn't make a complete fool out of myself. I feel very oddly different than I did about an hour and 27 minutes ago. I feel like the world's a little brighter and things have changed.
It's
Um,
nice when you start talking to these people and you're getting the responses and people are interacting and everything like that, Robbie. It's actually really that's what sucked me in right away to it. You know what I mean? Originally, when Brian was bugging me about coming on and starting streaming and doing this, I was like, I don't know shit. What am I going to talk about? How? And then the first time he even brought me on a show, he goes, "Okay, you're gonna have a 10-minute slot," and I was like, "Fuck me, 10 minutes." Well, I got about 2 minutes of conversation. When I'm going to sit there and stare at the screen for 8 minutes like an idiot. And it was funny, after the 10 minutes, I think I went to about 16 before he finally turned around and said, "Okay, I got to cut you off now." So it's addictive. It's fun. The community is absolutely incredible. Thank you all in the chat for joining us today on
yes, thank
Robbie's
you very much.
debut,
And I
the
do want to
debut
say
of the show.
before you go, like credit to you and the kids. Like it seems fun. It seems like a great way for them to chat, meet people, talk about football. They're super passionate about it, obviously. So
Yeah, man.
it's great. Credit to you guys and credit to the community for setting you guys up with that. And it's great. And it's fun. And we talk about football anyways. So why not just do it on the channel, right? We're
Exactly.
talking about
Yeah.
it all the time.
Now, like I said, now we got a date night every Friday night. So, folks, this was the debut of What's Buzzin Cousin on the Three Spurs Boys. Please remember to hit the like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Thank you for showing my little cousin here, my little brother, a lot of love. Much appreciated. Hate at the beginning for him and love towards the end. So you've changed some hearts and some minds, Robbie. But at the end of the
That's
day,
what I
you're
do.
still a gooner. So screw you. I mean, I love
Fair.
you. And
Fair. I love you
we
too.
are going to be off for the next 2 weeks. As most of you know, I will be flying over to the England on Monday to come watch the NLD with my little boys here. And we will be back on the 21st, which means we will return with What's Buzzin Cousin, and a majority of that show will probably be discussing the NLD, how our trip was, how the event was,
Yeah.
how the game was, and everything. But we just wanted to get the debut in and get the show off the ground. So again, much love to all of you. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you the next time. Benny, in here from the beginning. Thank you to everybody that joined us in here today. All of you in the comments. Much love to you. And that's it for us. We'll see you next time.
Ace.
And of course, come on, you Spurs.